Hello, welcome to the Night Radio and Television Station. Here come the latest updates. The World Intellectual Property Organization has just released the Global Innovation Index Report 2020. Accordingly, Vietnam continues to maintain high ranking 42nd out of 131 countries' economies. With the above result, Vietnam continues to lead in a group of countries with the same low middle income level, ranking the third in Southeast Asia. Since 2017, the government has used the Global Innovation Index as an important executive management tool and has assigned ministries, agencies, and localities to be responsible for improving this index. Specifically, the Ministry of Science and Technology is assigned the task of being the focal point for general monitoring and coordination. With the drastic direction of the Prime Minister, Deputy Prime Ministers, as well as the participation of many ministries, branches, localities, research institutes, universities, and enterprises, Vietnam's GII has been continuously improved from the 59th 2016 to the 42nd 2020. According to the Vietnam Timber and Forest Products Association, the wood industries in the first 7 months of this year increased by 8% compared to last year. According to the report, export and import markets for wood and wood products in the first 7 months of 2020 of the Vietnam Timber and Forest Production Association, the export value of wood and wood products in the first 7 months of 2020 reached 6.005 billion USD, an increase of 8% compared to 2019, recording the recovery of the wood industry after the pandemic. In the past 7 months, Vietnam's key wood and wood products export markets include the US, China, Korea, Japan, and Europe. The export value of wood and wood products to these 5 markets accounts for 90% of the country's total export value. The EU is increasing pressure on Russia after the poisoning of opposition leader Alexei Navalny. The EU threatens sanctions against Russia, while calling on Russia to cooperate in the investigation. The NATO opened an emergency meeting on the incident. According to AFP, EU High Representative in charge of security and foreign policy, Josep Borrell, urged Russia to cooperate in investigating the poisoning of Mr. Navalny and affirmed that EU did not rule out the possibility of imposing sanctions against Russia. Accordingly, the EU wants Russia to cooperate with the Organization for the Prohibition of Chemical Weapons, based in The Hague, to ensure a fair international investigation to identify those responsible. German Chancellor Angela Merkel earlier said that Mr. Navalny was attacked with a neuroagent Novichok, despite Russia denying all allegations. The EU is still sanctioning Russia over Ukraine issue. According to Reuters, it is likely that EU will expand the above sanctions list instead of applying new sanctions. In addition, NATO today is scheduled to hold an emergency meeting on the poisoning of Mr. Navalny. Earlier, NATO Secretary General Jens Stoltenberg had criticized the use of the Novichok poison and urged Russia to conduct a complete and transparent investigation. NATO announced that 2 allies in the bloc, Greece and Turkey, have agreed to negotiate to avoid unexpected clashes in the East Mediterranean region. Secretary General Jens Stoltenberg's statement stated that after discussion between the Greek and Turkish leaders, the 2 sides agreed to participate in technical talks in NATO to establish mechanisms to reduce conflict and the risk of crashes and incidents in the Eastern Mediterranean region. Turkish President Tayyip Erdogan's office said he had a telephone conversation with German Chancellor Angela Merkel, opposing some countries' support for the stand of Greece regarding the issues in the Eastern Mediterranean region. Greece and Turkey have been in serious conflict over claims of potential hydrocarbon resources in the region, based on opposing stances about the extent of the country's continental shelf. That's the end of the news for today. Thank you for watching and goodbye for now.